Listen, guys and gals, I like Marvel. I know, cringe. But I don't need to be the one to tell you that in recent years, post-Endgame, things have been a little rocky. There's been a big crock pot full of mixed reviews that's been boiling for a minute, and well, since we're getting 2 event films coming up, that's a bit scary. And not just some event films, I'm talking about Secret Wars, one of the top dogs when it comes to superhero events. The last event we got was of course the Infinity Saga, with Thanos as our big bad and Endgame to accompany it. But the big difference between these 2 event films, of course, is that we got 10 years before it of just build-up.
No, you intimidate them.
Good God, you're a woman.
While with these, we only have 7 years. Along, of course, with complications with COVID, and honestly, it kind of felt like we were just goofing around for 3 years after Endgame. And oh yes, how can I forget the complete change of the saga storyline. Now listen, I don't know how much exactly changed in the writing room as far as plans go for the future endeavors because of this mishap, but man, I'm honestly so happy that we're getting the introduction of Doctor Doom in the MCU. So I'm not complaining. We all know about Infinity War and Endgame and how incredibly peak they were, but how are we going to top it? What does Marvel put out after these major successes, and what do they do in order to push the story further along? Well, let's take a look. Right after Endgame, we get Spider-Man Far From Home, which while is the worst of the trilogy, it's still a Spider-Man movie. I mean, you can't hate on it too much. Then almost 2 whole years later, we get Black Widow in 2021. We had a whole pandemic in between both of these movies, and unfortunately, it shows. This movie isn't really that bad from what I remember, but it's not very good. There's a lot of goofy moments, and I mean, it's a Black Widow movie, so there's not too much you can do with that. You kind of just get the backstory and some extra lore that we didn't know about. In that same year, we got Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Shang-Chi was very well received and is an introduction to a new character. It was a movie that didn't really feel like Marvel, but it's really cool to see how they will incorporate him in future movies. Which of course now, especially more than ever, because we got confirmed that he will be in Doomsday. Eternals was widely disliked, and this is right about where people start saying that Marvel is dead. Along in this time frame, we are getting TV shows that people honestly didn't really watch unless they loved Marvel already, which is honestly all right. I feel like there wasn't too much promotion with these shows, and it kind of flew underneath a lot of people's radars. And for a lot of people, the only verdict they got on the show in general was what other people had to say about it, whether that be good or bad. Which kind of makes sense, because you can't really just expect a casual viewer to want to watch a 9-episode show just because. Loki was well received along with Moon Knight, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and WandaVision, but was also met with rather boring shows like Hawkeye, Agatha All Along, and She-Hulk. A lot of people didn't care to watch these shows, and that kind of fed more into the Marvel is dead narrative. No Way Home was very good, but it gave people the cop-out of saying, oh, well, it's only filled with fan service and no original stories. So it was a win, but not 100% undeniable, which blows, but that's just how it is. After this, in 2022, we got Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, which I liked, but a lot of people didn't. Thor and Love and Thunder got hated on for being unfunny, barely any story, and terrible CGI. And Black Panther Wakanda Forever was liked because it finally addressed the sad passing of Chadwick Boseman, King T'Challa. But finally, we get into Phase 5 with Ant-Man, Quantumania, Guardians 3, The Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. With the large disliking of 3 of these films, 3 of them did really good. Balanced, as all things should be. Which is iffy, but promising in an odd way. You see, there was 2 movies that were 100% confirmed coming out this year, and that was Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four, which is probably the most important movie to come out of Marvel since Endgame. Thunderbolts, on the other hand, was damn near the opposite. So how do we change that? Well, the answer to that is easy. You make it really good. When we got the trailer for both of these movies, it was kind of around the same time, and obviously the large spectacle was on Fantastic Four. For many reasons, but the Thunderbolts, no one really cared about. A movie filled with a lot of throwaway characters and Bucky. I mean, they aren't necessarily bad characters, most of them, but no one really needed to see more of them. At least with all things considered right now. So everyone's expectations were pretty low. Just another Marvel movie to hit the box office, do all right, and then we can watch Fantastic Four and get this show finally on the road. The thing that got a lot of people in those seats was Sentry. Sentry, being a prominent figure in the comics, powerful as shit, and honestly just a cool character with a cool story, got people excited. Including me. I was interested in seeing him, and pretty much him only. But then the day came and I watched the movie. And currently it is sitting comfortably in one of my top 5 favorite Marvel movies ever. And I'm not alone. which is insane. Why? Why do we care about this movie? And the craziest thing is that it's not just because of Sentry. We actually like Yelena and Red Guardian and John Walker. Let's get into it. Where do I begin? This movie is exactly what they asked for when they said they wanted old Marvel back. I want the old Marvel back. I'm happy Brave New World is going to be back to its roots, which it did, but it wasn't that good of a movie. I liked it. I don't think it was that bad, but I can definitely see its problems. This movie goes back to old Marvel and more. This movie took characters that we knew, but we didn't really care about them. They're already in the negative when it comes to expectations.
What are your thoughts? I don't know. I don't want to look like a hater, but the only thing I'm interested in this movie is Sentry.
And they made us love them. The way they did this, of course, is by showing us what it takes to be a superhuman, super soldier, mercenary, etc. That's also why good movies in Marvel back in the day also thrived. Things just had character back then. Iron Man was this big playboy badass, but also suffered from panic attacks, and he falls in love. We don't just get to see him being a badass all the time, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We see a guy who is badass, but also deals with real life shit. Spider-Man is great because he's so relatable. He deals with real life problems like you and I, and we connect to that. One of the worst things in a movie is when you disconnect from the character and you can no longer immerse yourself in the situations. That's just how entertainment is, I'm sorry. We start off with Yelena, who is struggling to find herself and is ready for more out of life. She and the other characters struggle with depression, loneliness, and bad habits that, for the most part, you don't think about when it comes to villains or anti-heroes. They all have different problems, but similar feelings. Kind of like in Endgame when everyone lost something, right? Obviously, they went 5 years with the idea that it's all done. They're gone, we lost, but they eventually come together and rewrite their wrongs. At the end of the day, Marvel isn't just about superheroes being badasses and saving the day. Most of the good movies have an undertone message of self-healing, depression, anxiety, or just doing better for yourself when all else seems to be gone. And that's what makes them such powerful movies outside of just cool characters and cool CGI fights. These are people we grow to care about and hope to see them do good. Thunderbolts takes the same path by showing us these characters and glimpse into their past and how things been affecting them behind the curtain. This movie seriously makes you care about the characters that you just typed about in a Reddit forum saying they need to be killed off and never talked about again. And to me, that's the magic of movies, alright? This movie is really gray. And that is 100% on purpose. This world feels empty. There's no Avengers, there's no team, there's nothing really going on. And I'm not saying, talk about depression, movie gets a 10 out of 10. That's not the point. The point is that with everything feeling gone, it's a perfect time to show us how these characters are feeling. What does the character from 6 movies and TV shows feel about now that everything is pretty much in the dust? And it's interesting to see that they aren't thriving. Work, go home, drink, go to work again. Am I right, fellas? Okay, sure. These characters lost a sparkle in their eye. Sure. But they're still boring. Not really. In this movie, John was actually really funny. Yelena was a fantastic main character because of her relatability. Red Guardian was nice to see reunite with his daughter, and he's just funny. I mean, come on. Ghost had some cool teleportation scenes. That's kind of just it. And Bucky is Bucky, so like, yeah. And Taskmaster is awesome in the movie too. The fighting in this movie is probably the best I've seen since Shang-Chi, and it's awesome. I'm in the theater watching it like it's a dance recital. It's sick. Now finally, what about the conflict in this movie, right? Sentry and the Void take over New York, and you're telling me the Thunderbolts stopped it? What, did they talk him out of it again? Yes, but let me explain. You see, a big part of Brave New World and its hate that it received is because Sam Wilson talked Red Hulk, a literal 9-foot tall beast, out of Hulk form, and they kissed and said sorry. That's trash. Not likely, and cheap. So why is it not cheap this time around? Like mentioned before, this movie is very heavily driven on feeling alone, depression, needing a family. The perfect villain for this complicated group of characters literally is Sentry and the Void. I'm not gonna go on a tangent on who Sentry and the Void and Bob really is, because I'm sure that you guys have probably already seen the film. But it makes the most sense to have him in this movie because that's Bob's internal battle always. This movie perfectly ties everything into the third act by giving Bob that family that he's always needed, and now especially needs to control his inner demons. And same with the rest of the squad. They all help each other out, and with Sentry, he was very vulnerable and being used, but eventually finds the people that care about Bob and not just Sentry. I will say though, the first fight scene we get with him is so scrumptious. The fact that he's moving so fast and during the fight you can literally see him realize that he's literally like a god figure and super powerful, then it just totally consumes him. It's just so good. And then after that, whenever we go outside and everyone's just looking up at the sky and we just see the Void just up there, super far up there, and we know shit's just about to go down. It's so sick. The Void also being really just a big showcase of everyone's insecurities, past traumas, and biggest regrets is perfect for the storyline of them overcoming that and trying to change as a person, which reminds me of old Marvel. Typically with the old Marvel movies and characters we grew to love, we're kind of walk through how they change over time and adapt to the needs of the people that they're around. Thor transitioning from Asgard to Earth is difficult, but funny to see him go through the differences. Tony goes from an asshole military equipment supplier to quitting that and using his tech and intelligence to save people in need. Cap deals with losing his love interest in his youthful years with the time jump and tries to be the best soldier for his country and people that got him to where he was. It just all goes back to what makes a good superhero movie. In this, we get to see all of our characters struggle with their own problems and flaws and turn those around, leading them to be figures that they always wanted to be, as they find out that they really just wanted to be cared for and have people to fall back to when things get rough. It sounds stupid, but honestly, when you watch it, you feel for these characters and want to see them better themselves like we did for the past heroes before them. Another very important feature with Marvel is not even in the main story, but rather, of course, the post-credit scene. The big problem with the recent post-credit scenes is that they weren't really building towards something. The post-credit scenes didn't really get us ready for the next movie coming out soon or anything. They just kind of been, hey, look at this. This could have been cool, right? And that sucks. I mean, when we see Thanos picking up the gauntlet back in the day in the Age of Ultron post-credit scene, that was so hype. Thanos is now taking action, and very soon we will see the next big bad, and he is a threat to worry about. That's sick. I mean, the moments when you can lean over to your friend and you're like, I know who that is. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. Come on. Spoiler warning for the post-credit scene. Skip to, I don't know. Click off if you don't want to be spoiled, but if you haven't seen the movie yet, go watch it. Go watch it. This is the best post-credit scene we've gotten in so long, and I might be a little bit biased, but I don't care. The music, the setup, the fact the movie's coming in a couple of months. I mean, are you serious? The moment we hear like, you know, like there's a spaceship coming, and they all look at the screen and we see the ship. I mean, it's just so fucking sick. And then just how it turns with the 4 and then the song comes on. I mean, I love it so much. The soundtrack is already a classic. The only problem I have is that I saw the like credits of it, of like the song coming in, but to be fair, I totally thought that was for the trailer. I was like, oh, that's weird. I just thought it was in the trailer because they played the trailer before this movie. And this also tells us that they either made it or Herbie made it. Somebody is in that ship. Ideally. We don't know though, you know? But the Fantastic Four ship is in the MCU, and that's crazy. Are they gonna talk to the new Avengers when they show up? Who's gonna be the first person to see them? You know, we don't know. I'm so excited. I honestly kind of had a theory that whenever they leave their universe, they go into the X-Men universe, and then that's how it all connects, but I'm not sure. I'm definitely gonna see this movie with my friends that haven't seen it yet, just for this scene alone. And it's a post-credit scene. That's how it should always be. If the end credits is stupid, then why should we see the next film, right? It's supposed to get us hyped for the movie. If they don't got anything to be like, hey, this is gonna be sick, then what's the point, man? What are we doing? I'm so excited for Doomsday, it's not even funny. I'm also very scared because I can't even imagine watching a trailer for it, but I'm excited nonetheless. Fantastic Four coming this summer. We're eating as Marvel fans, more specifically as X-Men and Fantastic Four fans. Will we see Dr. Doom in the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four? I don't know. Who knows? Thunderbolts, or shall I say New Avengers, was easily the biggest win for Marvel since Endgame, and I'm honestly shocked, but so pleasantly surprised. I love this movie, and I honestly think it's one of the ones that'll be timeless. I like the overall story. Sentry was great. It's a gang full of heroes I'd love to see more of, and I would love to see more members added to it. I think this movie gave us the MCU team we needed before we get introduced to, you know, other families like the Fantastic Four and X-Men, and of course Sam Wilson's Avengers. It's gonna be just so cool seeing everyone come together, and it reassured us that Marvel still has the sauce and can even make us like characters that we didn't even like before, which to me is a huge flex. I will be watching this movie again and again, and when Fantastic Four comes out, you will be hearing from me. Subscribe to the channel, become a member, and of course, thank you for watching. Let's have a conversation in the comics. You know, what are you excited for Doomsday? Did you like Thunderbolts? Let me know. Let's talk about it. Have a good rest of your evening, and bye-bye.